The India-US relationship built on mutual respect and cooperation is entering a pivotal phase as both nations navigate tariff challenges. With the impending implementation of US reciprocal tariffs, India is proactively considering significant tariff reductions on US imports to foster a bilateral trade agreement by fall this year. Experts are optimistic that a comprehensive trade deal could enhance long-term relations despite short-term tariff concerns. A report.
Over the years, India and the US have forged a strong economic partnership. As the global trade landscape evolves, the Indian government is proactively addressing the potential impact of US President Donald Trump's global reciprocal tariffs. An internal analysis by India suggests that the recent US tariffs could affect 87% of its exports to the US, amounting to approximately $66 billion. In response, reports indicate that India is considering reducing tariffs on more than half of US imports, valued at approximately $23 billion.
On trade, we had a very open discussion. And the result of that discussion was that the Prime Minister and the President agreed that we would conclude you rightly said, not a free trade agreement, but a bilateral trade agreement by fall this year. And that is what is currently under discussion.
Despite ongoing negotiations on tariff issues, India has reaffirmed that both nations remain committed to finalizing the trade agreement within the agreed timeline.
The two governments are actively working to build a framework for the BTA, which would aim to expand trade, enhance market access, reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers, and deepen supply chain integration. In this endeavor, as I told you, our Commerce and Industry Minister had visited the United States from 3rd to 7th of March, where he met with US Commerce Secretary as also US Trade Representative. Government of India remains engaged with the US administration.
India-US trade includes key Indian exports such as pharmaceuticals, textiles and IT services, while the US exports aircraft, machinery, oil and agricultural products to India. Experts remain optimistic that despite short-term tariff challenges, a well-negotiated trade deal could significantly strengthen long-term bilateral relations.
We are expecting a trade deal. We are going to have a trade deal with the US, and although there will be a tariff issues, which I believe if we get a trade deal, a good trade deal, then these tariff issues may be a short-term thing, whereas the trade deal may help the India-US relation in the long term, and it will help both the countries. Specifically, India will get much benefit if we get a trade deal.
India remains committed to deepening its economic ties with the US while strategically navigating potential trade challenges. A recent S&P Global Ratings report suggests that Trump's reciprocal tariffs will have a limited impact on India due to its robust economy and relatively low reliance on US trade, with exports making up just over 10% of its GDP. Despite a $45.6 billion US trade deficit with India, WTO data shows that the average US trade-weighted tariff is 2.2% compared to India's 12%. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's US visit in February, both nations agreed to initiate trade discussions to resolve tariff disputes. As India and the US engage in trade negotiations, experts emphasize the importance of reassessing trade policies in an evolving global economy.
And when we adjust our trade issues with the US, we also have to adjust with other countries. And not only India, other countries will also make certain adjustments. So it's a time for India and rest of the world to rethink on the trade issues. And India is doing a lot of work in this direction.
By remaining adaptable and committed to open dialogue, both India and the United States can forge a resilient trade partnership that benefits their economies and sets a positive example for global trade relations.